So, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Women Who Could conference. So, this session is leading through coaching. So, we have Srikant with us. So, a small intro for Srikant. So, Srikant is a BTech honors from IIT Kharagpur, Master Certified Coach. Srikant has 20 plus years of work experience in the IT industry. He has served at senior positions in MNCs like Hayes PLC, now RR Donnelley, Samsung, and Microsoft. He spearheaded the establishment of the subsidiary for Hayes PLC in India and grew it to 500 plus employees spread across 3 locations. He played a key role in setting up Samsung STS in India, built a few product development teams, and grew the organization to 25 in 6 months. He held leadership roles for Microsoft India in the area of enterprise technical support and people strategy programs, including Mac. In Microsoft, he held a leadership role for an organization size of 200 plus employees. He also led the campus to corporate program for 3 continuous years, which had close to 200 fresh graduates. A couple of them have become directors within Microsoft and in other large MNCs. Shrikant is an ultra marathoner, yoga practitioner, and fitness enthusiast. He has also helped several corporate executives attain their fitness and running goals. So, welcome, Shrikant. Very happy to have you here. So, in this session, just to give the context to the audience, so in this session, we will discuss about the mentorship and coaching. So, what is coaching about, and how it can help us, and how we can lead through coaching. So, Shrikant, you can take over. All yours.
Milan, thank you for hosting me, and I'm looking forward to have a good session. Let me just start sharing the slides. Just give a minute. Okay. Okay. I hope you get to see the slides. So, what we're going to do today is I'm going to take you through different types of help available for an individual therapy, counseling, mentoring, and coaching, and then spend a little bit more time on what mentoring is and what coaching is. And under coaching, I'll talk about 3 different levels of coaching, and then a simple model I'll just take you through. And hopefully, somebody will volunteer from this audience, and I can also do a live coaching conversation. So, if you look at these quadrants, you will see on the left side the past and past and to deal with the problem, and on the right side you see future and solutions. And then in the vertical axis you say ask and explore, and then at the bottom you see tell and advise. Now, therapy and counseling is about the past. So any problem that anyone need to resolve about the past will be handled by therapy and counseling. Anything that you want to do with the future will be addressed through mentoring and coaching. So let's look at what is therapy and what is counseling. So therapy could be, hey, somebody is dealing with some traumas that has happened in the past, some issues that they are still struggling to resolve. It could be while they were growing up, they were kind of had it could be abuse. They went through some relationship issues where there are a lot of scars and so on and so forth. And a therapist will ideally look at what has happened in their life in the past, and then dig through the experiences and see what can be done to get the person out of those experiences. So you are in the past and you are not able to come to the present. So ask you questions, prescribe certain things, and then get you from the past to the present is pretty much therapy. And it's more of healing wounds, emotional wounds. Counseling also similar to that, but counseling you don't prescribe much. You actually ask questions, do exploration to see, hey, what has happened to you in the past? What is that you can do to come to the present? So don't stay stuck in the past, come to the present. Mostly around emotional and intellectual experiences that the person went through, right? So primarily looking into emotional resolutions to resolve and bring the person to the present. So that is about counseling and therapy. So For a person to practice as a therapy, they necessarily have to go through a course, specialized, and get the license to be a therapist. Counseling, the person should be a psychologist. They should have gone whatever education. And now look at the future and the solutions. So future, you have mentoring and coaching, and there are a couple of fundamental differences. I'll explain that to you in a little while. So mentoring is mentor operates from a place of domain expertise, sharing experiences, giving advice on certain areas, and pretty much giving a prescription saying, hey, this is what needs to be done for you to get to this place. For example, see, I'm a ultra marathon runner, and if somebody comes to me and say, hey, I want to take up running, and for as a mentor, what I would end up doing is, hey, you want to take up running, this is what you need to do. So let's get started. Let's look at running a couple of kilometers in maybe 2-3 weeks, and then 5 kilometers in about whatever 1 month, 10 kilometers in 12 weeks, and so on and so forth. Okay, by end of the year you can run 42 kilometers, and this is what you need to do. So I'm giving my expertise, and I'm showing the way, prescribing steps that has worked for me, right? So that is what the mentor does about the future. And coaching is about operating from a space of not knowing, partnering with the person who is coming to me for coaching. So we are at an equal space like this. So I'm here as a coach. The person who comes to me for coaching, in the coaching language, we call the person client. We also call the person coaching. Now, both are at equal level, unlike mentoring and mentee, where mentor is at a high level, mentee is at a lower level, right? So in coaching, we operate from a space of not knowing what is happening to the coachee in their context. So the same person comes to me saying that, hey, I want to start running. If I just remove my mentor hat, keep it aside, my immediate question to that person would, okay, so what is the motivation for you to wanting to run? And then that person would say, I want to run for ABCD, blah, 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 and all that. And then for all you know, there will be a process of discovery through which the person may say, hey, actually, I don't want to run a full marathon. I want to maintain a healthy lifestyle. In order to that, I want to start running. And then maybe running is one part of it. I may also do yoga. I may also do swimming, blah, 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 and all of that, right? So the role of the coach is to make sure um, that help the coachee to raise their self-awareness when they become aware of what is happening in their life related to an issue that they are dealing with. They will find the answers, they will find the solutions, and when they find solutions, help the coachee to design actions and hold them accountable for timelines, provide them support, and help them move forward. So this is the fundamental difference between coaching and mentoring. Now, all these four uh, roles, or all these four professions, or all these four services have a time and place. Right? Some cases you only have to provide therapy for an individual. Sometimes it is counseling, sometimes it's mentoring, sometimes it is coaching. So if somebody comes and tells, okay, for example, if somebody comes and tells, hey, the building is on fire, you just tell boss to jump out of the building. So you're not going to sit and coach the person how to get out of the fire, right? So this is an example I want to give. Now let's look at mentoring versus coaching. In the International Coaching Federation has defined coaching as partnering with the client in a thought-provoking and a creative process to maximize their potential. Right? The keywords are partnering, thought-provoking, creative process to maximize potential. This is the definition of coaching by ICF. And they are also, I won't call it a definition, it's an acronym, you may want to call it. There's a gentleman called David Clutterberg who came up with the acronym saying, okay, the relationship between the mentee and the mentor is like managing the relationship, encouraging, nurturing, teaching, offering mutual respect, and responding to the learner's needs. So that is how the mentoring and coaching is differentiated. Now, let's look at different levels in coaching. Right? There are three different levels. I'm just going to take you through one after the other. The first one is called the transactional. In this, what happens is, as a coach, somebody comes to me, so I call it client or coach or whatever, with a problem. So let's say this is a problem, right? This is the problem that they are looking at. Hey, I want to know how to kind of put in a SIM card into this phone, right? So this is a problem. So as a coach at a transaction level, what I would end up doing is that, hey, this is a problem. So let's look at this problem and see how we can solve this problem together, right? Without advising, let's look at this problem and I'll ask you some questions so that you can find the answers to solve this. That is transaction level. The client or the coachee comes with a problem. As a coach, I just look at the problem and help the client solve the problem. Okay, thinking is primarily around the problem. Now, the second level is developmental coaching, or we also call it the behavioral coaching, where the client comes with a problem, right? But I don't focus on the problem. I focus on what is happening on the client's thinking about the problem. So I don't ask any questions about the problem. I explore what is happening on the client's thinking about the problem. So eventually, we still solve the problem by coaching what is happening to the client's thinking behavior, right? So it's like you have the iceberg. So you see the tip of the iceberg, which is the behavior, right? And then below the iceberg is what you've got so many things going on. So maybe you see only 5 or 10% of the iceberg above the water. So we are looking at the behavior and helping that individual to change the behavior, developmental and behavioral. Now let's look at the third one, which is called the transformational. So this is developmental or behavior coaching, where I focus on the client and the client will focus on the problem to solve the problem. Still, we are looking at solving the problem, right? The third one is transformational coaching. Here is very different. What's happening is the client comes to me with a problem, and then I don't focus on the problem at all, right? I'm focusing on what is happening to the client's life holistically about this problem. Okay? What is the client going through as feelings? What is the client thinking? How the client's beliefs are getting challenged? How the client's values are getting challenged? How the client's strengths are getting challenged? So we are just going below the iceberg. So what you're seeing above the iceberg is the behaviors. So what you see below the iceberg, which you can't see, that has to be explored, the attitude, beliefs, values, strengths, so on and so forth. So in the transformational coaching, what happens is the client actually breaks or destroys some of the beliefs which are holding, and then finding something in their own to solve this problem. So this problem is not the center of conversation. Now, transformational coaching is something similar to this. It is like a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly, right? So the caterpillar is a worm. By the time it becomes a butterfly, it's an insect, right? So what has happened is the caterpillar destroys itself, becomes a goo, and then it forms a cocoon. And then from the cocoon, there is an insect which is formed, and it waits till the wings become stronger, breaks the cocoon, and then flies. So transformation is like that. So here in the coaching parlance, it's about challenging the client's beliefs, their values, all of what is within them, just keep challenging them and helping them to rewire all of that. And then eventually, this may not be the real problem. The problem could be something else, right? So that is about transformation coaching. So now, there is a very simple model that we use in what do you call in coaching, called the Grow model. This has been created by this gentleman called Sir John Wickmore. He used to be a race car driver. So he came up with this model about I think about 60, yeah, maybe 1970s. So we are talking about 50 years ago. And it's a very simple model called the GROW model: goal, reality, options, and way forward. I'll just take you through the GROW model, and then we'll, of course, as I mentioned to you, we'll do a demo. So goal, reality, options, and way forward. So when a coachee comes to me, I look at the goal and say, okay, these are certain things that you can ask. I mean, these are certain things, but this is not a prescribed list of questions. There's some questions. What do you want out of this conversation? That what will that want get you? What is exciting about this particular thing that you want to achieve? And how does success look like for you? What is the big picture? Some questions about the future. Yeah. By achieving this goal, what is that? What will happen? Blah 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 blah. And this is the goal that you want to achieve. Reality, what is happening right now? As far as the goal is concerned, what is going on right now? What would happen if you do nothing? How are you feeling about the whole thing? What are the obstacles that you're facing? How are you measuring progress? Right. So once again, some questions in the reality phase, not a prescribed list. It's just some questions. And then you explore options. So we have the goal. This is where you want to go. So this is where you want to go. And there are certain things that you are doing. There are certain things that you can do to move towards the goal. So what are different approaches that you can take? If you had another choice, what will you do? What else can you do? And so on and so forth. And once you have come up with those options, out of these so many options that you came, what is the next step that you will take? Which is the best of all the options? When will you get it started? Timelines. What is the next step? Immediate step you'll take. What are the support structures? What obstacles will you face? How are you going to overcome that? How would you know that you have achieved the goal, and so on and so forth? It's a simple GROW model. Anyway, while I'm doing the demo, you will figure out what I'm doing. So in the GROW model, I'm just going to put a slide and show you a few questions. This is how it looks like. Once again, I'm telling you, these are certain questions that you can ask in certain stage of the GROW model. This is not the begin all and the end all of the GROW model. This is not an exhaustive list. Okay, so I'm just going to read this once again. Goal: define short, mid-term, and long-term goals. What do you want? What will that get you? What is exciting about this? So on and so forth. Reality: what is going on right now? How are you feeling about it? What is missing in the situation? What is holding you back? What will also, so on and so forth. And then in the option stage, what are the different options? What could you do? What else could you do? What might be helpful? And so on and so forth. And then out of all these options that we spoke about, what are one or two things that you will take and just run with? Okay. So this is the simple GROW model. So I spoke to you about coaching, differentiated between coaching and mentoring. I spoke about 3 different levels of coaching: transactional, developmental, and transformational. And then I'm just introduce you to the very well-known simple model for coaching called the GROW model. Okay. So now what we will do is I'm just going to stop sharing this and we'll come back to the room here. Neelam, are you there? Right. So we have about 40 minutes. If anyone has any questions right now, Neelam, I can take those questions, respond to those questions. If anyone has questions, otherwise if there's a volunteer, they can come on screen, you can pin us. We'll have a conversation for about 25 or maybe whatever time that is left. We'll keep the last 15 minutes for Q&A because they may get a good understanding once they see a live coaching demo. Yeah? I'm okay.
So we can start with the live demo also.
Yeah, sure.
It's fine. So maybe I can only start, Srikant, means giving you a situation, and then we can do a coaching.
Oh, fantastic.
Come again.
So you will be.
Yeah, I think that will be better.
Yeah, so you will be my coachee.
Correct. That's right. So I'm volunteering.
Okay, so let's get started.
Okay.
Hi, Neelam. How are you
Sure.
doing?
Yes, Srikant, I'm doing good.
Yeah. So, Neelam, we have about 20 to 25 minutes. In this time that we are together, what is that you would like to discuss?
Yeah, I have one situation, Srikant, means which I'm struggling with, or the problem which irritates me or comes in my mind. So one thing I'll tell means it's both ways. So see, I have recently moved to management, and now I face this few problems in the people management also, where I want to grow one person, and the person also plays a victim card where it becomes that yeah, I'm not getting promoted. What shall I do? I'm doing a lot of hard work. So it's two ways. One thing is how you will coach a manager to coach that employee, and if the employee comes to you, then how you will coach that employee so that he or she understands that what he or she is lacking and how she can improve. So both ways I want, so that I get the means experience, or I'll get the real time experience. Yeah.
So, you started responding saying that I'm getting irritated.
I think that came from my heart. Yes. Sorry for that. Yeah.
Okay. So, what is this irritation all about, Neelam?
Yeah, because I'm not able to help that person. So I want to help that person, but I don't see that person growing. So I have had multiple personal discussions, and I have means many times I have tried, but I don't see the person opening up. So how can I make that person open up so that I can help that person?
So, what I'm hearing is that I want to help the person. That person is not opening up. So, I'm not sure how I can help the person, is what I'm hearing. To the previous response, you also said that person is playing a victim card.
Mhm.
And what is giving you this feeling that plus person is playing a victim card?
Because whenever I talk to that person says, I am putting a lot of hard work, still I'm not getting promoted. So those kind of responses that in spite of doing everything, I'm not getting the promotion. So it's like it's not that person's fault. It is the management or it's the manager's fault that person is not getting promoted.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that that person is saying, hey, I'm doing everything possible. I'm putting all the effort. It is that you are not seeing what I'm doing and you are denying my promotion.
Yeah, maybe that again. Yes, the perception what that person has, the perception what manager has is there's a conflict there.
Right. So you said you have got into a management role recently.
Right.
So what is going on with your current role?
What is going on means can you explain a bit?
So when you said you got to the role recently, okay, let me ask you a different question. What are you learning about your new role?
New roles, yeah, the how to manage people and what all things I should take care and empathy. So all traits which manager has. So I attend the trainings also. Yeah, those are
Right.
things I do.
So when you say that, hey, this person is not opening up, I still want to help this person. And for a moment, let's say that this person comes around and is willing to open up and have a very heart-to-heart conversation. What would you like to see happening by end of that conversation? You know?
Yes, some changes which I see that will benefit that person.
Okay. So, so you would like to see some changes happening in that person, which will benefit that person.
Right.
Okay, and how would you know that?
Because because I'll be observing that actions or the task which I am doing based on the outcomes.
In this entire relationship, Neil, who do you want to be for this individual?
Can you repeat the question?
For this entire relationship that you have with this person, who do you want to be for the person?
Who you want to be that person? Okay. Maybe the person who takes a lot of initiatives, and because see there's a certain level or expectation for the next level. It's if that person has to be promoted, the expectation has to be met.
Right.
So that leadership qualities which should be there, the confidence or those things should come up.
So, so this is what you want to notice in that person.
Right.
My question is, for that person, who do you want to be in this relationship?
Maybe a mentor who can, or a friend who can guide her.
You said a mentor, and then you changed it to say, okay, a friend who want to guide. Okay. So let's go with that, right? A friend who want to guide would like to see this person develop the confidence to take the initiative and just grow in the organization. All of this, what will they give you?
The satisfaction, and see, it's a good intent I have, that I have helped one person. So that's satisfaction. That's all. Yeah.
So the satisfaction of having helped somebody, that is what it is, right?
So it's like giving back. Right. So I have grown in my career, so I want to give back also. Yes.
Okay. So I have grown in my career, so I want to give back by helping somebody to grow. And this need of giving back for somebody else to grow, where is that coming for you from?
That's a wish again, maybe, or I don't know what to say here. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
See, I am responsible for my team now, right? So I am responsible for their growth as well. So it's both the things, responsibility as well as the satisfaction which I'll get.
So I'm hearing it as it's a requirement for it's a requirement for the role that I'm playing as an individual in the organization to grow somebody, and also it gives me satisfaction as a person. So I'm sure, Neelam, you've been working for quite a lot of years, and then you have worked with people, and you have seen some challenges, certain things that you have done in the past. You feel as really helped you to overcome situations like this.
Shrikant, your video is freezed.
No, no, I'm just
Okay,
quiet.
okay, okay. Yeah, okay. So you're asking about the examples?
No, I'm not asking for an example. I'm asking for what within you. For example, let's say some strengths that within you has really helped you to overcome challenges with people in the past.
Overcome challenges with the people.
Yeah.
I think I connect well with the people. So that's what
Okay.
I see as my biggest strength, that I connect personally with them and create a rapport with them. And that's how means I connect with most of the people, and networking helps me there.
So connecting with people is a strength for you.
Yes.
And what else do you consider to be a strength?
It's wish to learn, or the ability to learn the things, and always being curious and take more and more challenges, learning new things. Yeah.
Learning new things and being curious. So in the current situation that you are going through, Neelam, there is this individual. who you feel is not up to the mark, you want to help, that person is not okay, right? And you want to be a friend guide and help the person to break this barrier, if you want to call it a barrier, and then open up to you so that you can help the person to grow. You also mentioned it's a need of the role, and also it gives me immense satisfaction.
Correct.
You're not being able to do this currently. What values that you hold for yourself do you feel is being challenged?
Not able to help someone, or I don't know what name I can give to that value, the core values. So
Okay,
see, I feel like that I'm a bit emotional, and I try to help people. So yeah.
right. So I'm hearing it as okay. I'm a person who want to help somebody, right? Helpful. Let's call it helpful. Being helpful. Yeah, helpful. Since this person is not opening up, I feel not so good about the situation. So Neelam, we've been on this topic for the last 10 minutes or so.
Mhm.
How has this conversation helped you so far?
Yeah, again, means it's a reiteration that what all things I wanted, why I wanted, that why I want to do that, and what I want to do.
So it's a reiteration of what is that you want to do, what is the why behind what is that you want, right? Okay. In the next 10 minutes, let's say you want to focus on something very specific and take away from this conversation, the limited time that we have, which will give you a sense of meaning. What would that be?
See, I'm looking for some suggestions which I can implement. So if I can get that, yes.
So, so you're looking for some suggestions. So let me
Or
upfront tell
some,
you.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
see, it's like, means from your experience, whatever you have learned, if you can share those stories, or how you, if you have encountered similar situations, how you have dealt with. So those will help me. So from the experience, I want to learn.
So you are looking for suggestions. So let me just be upfront and say you're not going to get any suggestions because I'm operating from a space of not knowing what exactly is happening in your life. So let's play with what is happening in your situation and we'll see what we can find, right? So let's say I give also a suggestion. What would you intend to do with the suggestion?
Try to implement. If I am convinced, then I'll try to implement. If I'm
If you're
convinced, yes.
convinced that you will do. So what I'm hearing is that you are looking for some, yeah, this is what I'm hearing. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're looking for some ideas or some steps that you can implement to overcome the situation that you are going through right.
Correct.
So looks like we are on the same page. So far, so good. Now, how do you know by end of this next 10 minutes or so, you found the answer that you are looking for?
Yeah, as I said, if it's convincing, then I'll try to implement. So I don't know whether I'll get the results what I'm looking for, but once I implement, then only I can come to know.
Okay. So at least if you feel that hey, this is a good idea, I will get to know from you, hey, this looks like a good idea, and I may be willing to implement. Right?
Right.
Okay. Okay. So let's look at your situation holistically, right? So you have this need to help others, and the role that you play is a role that you have to help somebody to grow in the organization. It also gives you a sense of satisfaction, right? And you also mentioned that some strengths that you have leveraged in the past. People connect, curious, learning, and so on and so forth. Yeah, if you just have to pick up a few of these things and look at your situation holistically, what is possible for you?
What is possible for me? This I didn't get that how.
Okay, I'll repeat this. You spoke about your strengths of connecting with people.
Right.
You spoke about your learning as a strength. You
Mm-hmm.
spoke about your curiosity as a strength. You spoke about wanting
Mm-hmm.
to help people as a value. And you spoke about I have to grow people in the organization as a job requirement. And then at a very deep level, you said, hey, if I get this person to open up and start looking at becoming more confident and more taking initiatives, then this person will grow. It's a deep desire that you have, right?
Right.
So you look at all of this and say, okay, this is what I have with me as my resources, and what can I do to handle this person right?
Yeah, see, what I have thought of was that I'll be connecting to that person more frequently so that I establish a connect with that person, and maybe then that person will open up. So that's one strategy I've thought of. So that's because I said that connecting with people personally is my strength, so that I can do, and maybe I can learn something. Because it will be again based on the experience. So theory, I don't know how much it will help, but I'll try to find that, yeah, some helpful tips.
Okay. So so when you say connecting with this person, what exactly do you mean?
Yeah, making more personal connect. So
Okay.
having more conversations, more frequent conversations.
Personal connect, have more conversations. What else?
Yeah, that's what I've thought of, Shikant. Yeah.
Okay. So far in the conversation, Neelam, what are you learning about the situation that you're going through right now?
It's a tough situation for me. It's a
I
tough
lost you.
situation.
It's a tough
It's a
situation. It's a tough situation, right? Okay.
tough
If you're able to,
situation, and I think very common situation, Shrikant. See, it may be a hypothetical situation, but it's very common when I speak to others as well. So it's very common problem where one person thinks that he or she is capable of or ready for the promotion, but the manager thinks no, there are some things missing. So it's very common situation, which that's why I wanted to discuss this here.
yeah. So it's a tough situation. You also say it could be a hypothetical situation. If you're able to crack this and make a forward movement and help the person realize, hey, this is where the problem is, you can just open up and then have this conversation with me. And then whatever that you've said that you would like to see. For you, how will life change as a person?
As a person means I'll achieve my value means, and it will reinforce that yes, I can help with others, and maybe this I can share with my friends also means if they are coming across the same issue or same problem, I can share with them as well. So as a person, yeah, means I'll be more satisfied, and it's a win-win situation for me as well, and for that person as well. Right?
Right. So if you're able to crack this, of course, more satisfaction for you is a win-win. This experience can be shared with your peers or whoever is going through a very similar situation. And okay. So where are we right now from where we started, Neela?
Yeah, we are searching for the options.
We're still searching for the options.
Yes.
We're still searching for the options. I thought we had one option which
Yes.
came up while we were
Yes.
having the conversation. But hey, I will make an attempt to connect with this person more.
Mhm.
If you work with this particular option, what is the immediate next step that you can take, Neil?
Yeah, that will be scheduling the meetings, or I mean, not scheduling the meetings. I think it will become formal. So informal connecting would be better. So we start connecting with the people informally.
And then what happens?
Then again, that personal connect will establish, and that person may open up, and it's a may again. So once I exercise
So
this
may
option, then only I'll come to me.
so may again you're not sure.
Yes.
So looking at your strengths, you spoke about people connect, and of course the other two strengths. You still say that it may happen. I'm not sure. What will give you this confidence? Hey, if I do this, perhaps the chances are going to be much better. This person will.
Yeah, one more thing, what I can try is as a person that I have to see that with whom that person is more comfortable with. So that channel, if I take, then I'll come to know that yeah, what is stopping that person, or what are the barriers. So that may give one more option, or the opening up chances are more.
Sure. So observe and see who else this person is comfortable opening up, and kind of leverage that person's help or expertise or whatever you want to call it.
Right, right.
Okay. So between these two that you spoke about, okay, me making a personal connect and understanding more about this person beyond the profession and leveraging somebody's help and then getting the person to open up. What is resonating more with you?
As an of the first option where I only connect, and if that doesn't work, then go for the second option.
Okay. So I'm sensing you got some clarity. When are you going to start doing this?
Yeah, maybe next week.
Yeah, we're already end of the week, right?
Yes, yeah, right. It's a Friday today. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you have one action, you have one timeline, and what support would you need just to make sure, hey, I have decided on this, this needs to happen.
Yeah, as of now, no support means, yeah, because that section item is with me. Yeah.
And what potentially can stop you from doing what you intend doing?
Yeah, if I get busy in something else or more issues come, then that's a priority again. So what is more a priority for me? So that is one aspect I can see. And I may stop trying also, that if I see that multiple times I tried, but that is not happening, then I may stop later. Yeah.
Okay. So what you're saying is that, okay, some priorities, if they come my way, I may just not do it. If I kept repeating this and if I still don't see anything coming from the other side also, I may just, right. Okay, Neelam, we're pretty much towards the end of the conversation. Just we're left with 2 minutes. From where we started, Neelam, how far have we reached?
Yeah, it's like we completed what problem, why I'm looking for that, and then options also, and the way forward. So I think we are in the end of.
Okay. And if you have to just summarize this entire conversation that we had in the last 24 minutes, how would you like to summarize in 1 minute and close this conversation?
It's like I have action item where I see what I want to do is that I want the person to grow. So that is a word part. Why? Because it's both win-win situation where the person will also grow and I'll also feel satisfied. So that is the why part. Then what options I have is the first thing I'll try to connect myself. Otherwise, second option I'll go through other person with whom that person is more comfortable with. And action items I have that where I'll be scheduling the calls.
And how are you feeling now?
Yeah, maybe I got the clarity maybe that I started from what and what is the way forward. Yeah.
All right, so let's pause this conversation. And if people have, you may have some questions in this conversation. You may have some questions on how I went about coaching you. And if people have any questions, then I'm going to take.
Yep. I want to understand. See, now mentoring and coaching we have differentiated. So if you were mentoring me, then how would you have approached
I would have given you a solution.
from your past experience?
Yes.
Or yeah, okay.
Yes. I would have given a solution from my past experience. Hey, I also had a very similar situation. This is what I did. Okay. I would have said, okay, yeah, I think I know where you're coming from. I just took this person out and then I didn't talk about work. I just spent some time understanding his other extra hobbies, what keeps him driving, blah, 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 blah. Got him to kind of completely break ice and drop his guard. I kept doing this a couple of times and then eventually he opened up. So you may want to do this. So
Yeah, but
that's a mentoring advice I would give.
yeah, but it can't it be a balanced one? See, coaching the it is left to the coaching, right? How he wants to approach, and the mentoring is sharing of experience. So can't it be a midway where some experience are being shared, and depending upon those, the coachee can take direction.
Even in this conversation, I could have done that. I could have,
Mhm.
instead of, I actually held myself back from giving this suggestion. I could have still done it. Even
Mhm.
in a coaching conversation, I could have said, hey, Neela, you know what? You don't have to take this, but this is what I have experienced personally. This has worked for me. I'm just going to play it for you. And if you feel that there is merit in what you say, you can go ahead and do it.
Mhm.
But I won't
Okay.
say this worked for me, go do it. That is prescription.
Right.
That is prescription. I could have still played, given an anecdote and said this worked for me or this worked for somebody else on merit. See, this is something whether you want to explore.
Mhm.
That is still coaching. However, in this conversation with you, I stayed away from it. I didn't want to color it. That's the reason.
Okay. Sure. Got that. Yeah. So I think there is one question, Shrikant, if I
Sure,
can
sure.
take that. Can you talk to us about your own journey to be a professional coach? Where and how does a transition place coach and what time the transition?
Neelam, I lost your voice. You may
So
want
two,
to
three
repeat
questions are
that
there.
and put the question on the chat box. One of the two.
Sure. It's there on the chat if you want to
Oh,
read
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I said,
I can
Angel
repeat one.
Costa, can you talk to us about your own
Correct.
journey to be a professional coach? Where and how does the technology profession start in order to transition? Oh, I love this question. I absolutely love this question. So if I don't know if the person is working for VMware and if the person decides to do what I'm doing, no, I'm not responsible, Neela. I'm telling you disclosure right now. Okay. So what happened in my 2005? I had already clocked about 15 years in the IT industry, and I was getting frustrated. I was in Microsoft in a leadership role, and then I was getting frustrated because I felt things going around me are not pretty much aligned to my values. So I was wondering what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do. And then anyway, I found somebody and who said the person will coach me. Yeah, so I went through 1 year of coaching. And not that I liked the way that the person coached me, but I got some value out of that. And I said, hey, this is seems to be interesting. I may want to explore this. And maybe this is something that which will fulfill my as you said, my satisfaction. So I have three core values. Nilam, okay, Angel is asked the question, so I'll talk to her also. Three core values for me: altruism, which means others' interests are above mine. I can go beyond, above and beyond, and help somebody else. Doing that, I feel very satisfied. And then relationships are very important for me, and trustworthy. These are three important values for me. So going by that, I felt, hey, going out and putting myself out there and helping people is going to give me a lot of joy. And I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to do that. So uh, luckily, in the 2005, this Kira happened, and then 2010, Microsoft had introduced a formal training for all the M2s, that is managers, how to coach the ICF way. And then I went through the program, and that's when I said, no, I'm going to do this in my own. I stayed there for 1 year. 2011, I quit. I had the coaching skills. Unfortunately, I didn't have the business skills or setting up a coaching business. So I set up whatever I did. I failed once. Then I did a couple of startups. I failed and then came back to coaching, did that, failed again. During the pandemic, between me and my son, we decided that we are going to do this together. So he graduated from NIT Warangal in 2018. He had finished his BTech. He didn't want to do corporate. He did a few startups. He failed. I had failed. So both the failures got together and said, we are going to make this a success. So as we speak, 3rd September 2020, we launched our coaching business full time. We completed 2 years last Saturday, and we are actually rocking it, absolutely rocking it. So I became a master certified coach about 5 months ago. In the world, there are ICF accredited coaches. There are about some 30,000 plus coaches across the globe. There are only 1,500 master certified coaches, and I'm one of them. In India, number of master certified coaches are less than 60. I'm one of them. So my son has gone through the program for the first level called the ACC, Associate, or I don't know, Associate Certified Coach. He applied for his credential last month. He will get it sometime in November, December, or something. So that is our journey. I love what I'm doing. I am not answerable to anybody. So that's what it is. I hope, Angel, I answered your question without beating around the bush, straight to the point. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So Shrikant,
Okay.
one more question. See, this
Sure,
coaching
sure.
is being hyped up now recently. I see earlier the mentoring part was there, but now coaching is becoming more and more important. So why it is so, and what is the right time to start the coaching?
Fantastic. Fantastic. Coaching is because I'll ask you a question, right? So let's assume I'm your manager. I'm your manager. I gave you a project. It is your project. You came up with an idea. Brilliant design. You came to me. And what I do, I just kind of tell hey, Neelam, I think instead of doing this, let's do this. Instead of doing this, let's do this. So your blueprint, which was like your blueprint, your own idea, I kind of meddle around with it and made it 50% my idea. In the context of adding value, in the context of being your mentor, I reduced your idea to 50%. I put my 50%, your 50%. Now, how much motivation would you have to go back and execute on that idea?
Right. Agree that. Yeah.
Instead, you come to me, I ask you a few questions. I don't give you advice, I don't give you whatever. I ask you a few questions and help you. So let's say you came up with this idea 100%. I helped you to think a little bit more. And then you came up with the answers, and that idea 100% blueprint, it became 125% or 150%. It got enhanced by not by my suggestion and advice, just getting you to think a little bit more.
Hmm.
Now, how much motivation would you have to go and execute on the idea?
True,
A
true.
lot.
It will increase. Yes,
Lot, right?
yes.
You came up with 100% enthu, now you're going back with 150% enthu. That is the reason coaching has become a little bit more popular.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what. And as I mentioned to you, coaching and mentoring, they have their own time and place, right? There may be some people who are not willing to be coached. You can't do anything about it. You just have to prescribe and say, go get it done. It could be situations, it could be people. If it's not happening, it's not. As much as possible, start a coaching conversation, and if you see there's a resistance, switch over to mentoring conversation.
Okay. And
Yeah.
is there
Even
any right time for having the coaching?
uh, yeah, I would say every time is the right time to having a coaching conversation. So I would say start with the coaching conversation. But if you feel that this
Okay.
person is not ready to be coached, stop the coaching and go into mentoring.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any questions. So if anyone has any questions, please put that in the chat. So Shrikant, any last thoughts?
Yeah. So last thought is one thing that I want to leave everybody here with this thing is coaching is like unraveling a movie, right? So when somebody comes to me, I have no idea what is happening in that person's life, right? So I just be curious, I be present for the person, ask questions, and let the person discover in their own what is happening. It's like peeling an onion. Keep peeling, keep peeling, keep peeling till they get to the core. So once they get to the core, and if once they are able to redefine their problem, they will find the answers. I don't have to do anything, right? So when I sit in front of a coach or a client, I repeatedly keep telling myself, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. So that I don't end up giving advice. Last thing I want
Okay.
to last thing I want to
Okay.
tell everybody is that people like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, um, Michael Jordan, all of them have coaches. So what is stopping you from having a coach? Regardless of what stage you are in your life. Yeah. Right.
Completely agree, Shrikant.
Yeah. I hope
So
all of them
yeah,
enjoyed this conversation and put some value out of
right. So thanks a lot, Shrikant. So it was a very good conversation, and I have observed that the demo. So I was a coachee. I sometimes I was feeling what to answer, but it's again live. So there is tough. So being a coachee is also tough. So,
it. Yeah, yeah, I know. Because the coach has to do all the thinking.
yes, I agree. So again, I want to thank, and the biggest takeaway is the grow model, so which I
Right.
will always
Very
remember.
simple model.
So very simple model, but very good model.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks a
All
lot,
right.
Shrikant, once again. Have a
Okay,
nice
Ellen.
weekend.
Pleasure, pleasure,
Bye
pleasure.
bye.
Absolute pleasure.
Bye.